The time we have is limited. In life, we learn through experience, so today I'm going to share some of my experience I've learned by observing my family, which can be defined as a traditional type of family. Now, sometimes we do things without realizing it affecting other people. This, I believe that people should be considerate of others around them. So, what I'll be linking to my value involves the habit of smoking. Most people know smoking is bad for the environment and to our health. It's like the butterfly effect. One little action can make a huge impact on everything else around us. So here's a fun fact. The global average lifespan was estimated to be 72.6 years by the United Nations in 2019. So imagine cutting at least 10 years out of your life because you smoke. But if you don't smoke, it doesn't mean you're not affected by it. You may notice that some people around you smoke. It could be your neighbor or friend, maybe your kid or even your sibling, if you have one. So you are affected by this. It's called secondhand smoking and third-hand smoking. This bad habit is damaging to one's life because in the end it leads to premature death. And like I've mentioned before, it affects everyone, including you, your family, friends, an unborn baby, and even your pets. I'm bringing awareness to this because some people can be so inconsiderate, like smoking near pregnant woman or pregnant woman who smokes without being mindful of the child in the body. Like I have one of my cousins child went through a life and death situation because of my cousin's smoking habit. This kid was born prematurely and faced many problems like breathing. So he had to undergo a couple of surgeries, and fortunately, after these procedures, he was in a healthier state now. But it doesn't mean he's not facing any challenges right now. Right now, he still have a couple of setbacks in his life. Like he's having trouble communicating. It's difficult for him to speak. So being exposed to secondhand smoke is just as dangerous as smoking. Like an article called Secondhand Smoke and Pregnancy, published in the American Pregnancy Association, stated that being exposed to secondhand smoke can lead to health conditions such as miscarriage, low birth weight, early birth, learning or behavioral deficiencies in your child, and sudden infant death syndrome. From my own experience, I grew up in a household where my father constantly smokes every single day. If I look at him now, he is in a bad state. And I had to inhale his smoke every day of my life until I finally left home. That's when I realized, wow, I feel so much better now not experiencing secondhand smoke. So that's actually a positive change for me. You must know that secondhand smoke negatively affects children greatly than adults because children are still in their growth stage where their lungs aren't fully developed yet. In an article titled Dangers of Secondhand Smoke, published on Healthy Children, mentioned that there's there are millions of children breathing in secondhand smoke from their in their own homes, so it's not healthy. Kids aren't living in a safe, healthy environment, not even at their own house. And a statistic report by Terry Martin from an article called How Secondhand Smoke Hurts Children claimed on average children have more exposure to secondhand smoke than non-smoking adults. And over half of American children breathe in secondhand smoke in cars, homes, and public places where smoking is allowed. So that needs to be changed. But moving into third-hand smoke, It can be described as contagious and toxic, especially the residue is consumed by an infant or an animal. It's like those times when my father drives us to school and he would often smoke during traffic jams, but when the car starts driving, the wind will be blowing the smoke and it'll hit my face and the residue will be sticking to my hair on my clothing. So when I get to school, not only do I smell like a walking stick of cigarette, but I'm also a walking health hazard for the people who comes near me. It also affected my pet dog who likes to rub her face on my clothes, and the residue from the smoke causes her eyes to irritate. Now, to limit such exposure to turntime smoke, I found a list on the website National Environmental Health Association that you should avoid any indoor environment that was used long term by smokers. Also, insist smokers to go outside to smoke and not to smoke in homes and in cars, and also support smoking bans and enforcement of them. Also consider replacing carpets, ventilation systems, furniture, etc. in homes that are exposed to long-term smoke because these residues lingers around for a very long time and you don't want your children going around sniffing the carpet like this. So I hope that you consider helping and encouraging others to quit smoking, and please be mindful of the people you're smoking around. It is a difficult journey, but it's possible to quit for the safety and well-being of others and ourselves.